So I actually want to go ahead and first thing is first, I need to mention I will be using another YouTuber's video in this live stream. His name is reviewtechusa. I heavily suggest everyone check his channel out. Just letting you guys know, so if he comes after me for using his video in this stream, actually, then yeah, I wanted to say that before I actually started using his shit. But the only reason why I'm using his video right now, well, not so much his video, his live stream video. This is the video right here. What I also want to do is go ahead and go on YouTube, like open another instance. I'm gonna go to The Verge, and we're gonna actually go, and if it's still up, they took the video down. But I don't know, maybe by some weird miracle it's still up. I don't know.
Hey YouTube, it's me.
You never know, right? But yeah, no, it's not here anymore. That video was taken down, and I think they issued a statement on YouTube and Facebook about why they took it down. They even acknowledged that, yeah, no, it was a... they said it was a bad video, but they said it had a few minor factual errors, which is not true. Those are not few minor factual errors. Okay. I own a gaming PC. I own one, okay? I take care of this thing. I pop the thing open. I take the heat sinks off. You know, if there's any excess dust in there. Surprisingly, with my current gaming PC, my retired one had this problem up the ass because it was in a gigantic cage. The built-in dust filter in the fucking case didn't do jack shit. It still collected dust like a motherfucker. But surprisingly, this computer right here does not have any issue. My Acer Aspire. I think that's what it is. Acer Aspire T, I think. To be more specific, it came with a Intel Core i5 7400, 12 gigs of DDR4 RAM, a 2 terabyte hard drive. Didn't come with a graphics card. I had to put that in myself. But when I got it, it was a pre-build. But if need be, I will take the heatsink off if there's any excess dust. Surprisingly, I haven't had that issue. I have had that issue with my older computer though. But I'm someone who owns a computer. I take care of the thing on the daily. Okay, I take it apart to clean it. I open the thing up. I make sure there's no excess dust. And this is an even bigger... excuse me. This is a pretty much a... I do this like every month. Okay, every month. I know it sounds stupid. But every month I pop this thing open. And the reason why that is because I have a dog. And my dog sheds a lot. He gets a lot of his fur everywhere. And I know for a fact that he will end up getting some hair into my computer. And my computer is pretty damn close to the area that he likes to hang out in. So that's an even bigger problem. Surprisingly, because I've been keeping the room clean, because I've been checking on the computer and just making sure that he getting all of his hair off, his fur off by combing him, I haven't had to deal with that issue. I believe it or not, I actually haven't seen any of his fur in that computer, which is surprising because there's a big ass vent on the side of it that is supposed to be acting as like, I don't know, passive exhaust, because this computer for some reason did not come with a actual exhaust fan. So that's kind of surprising. But nevertheless, I take care of this computer. And when I saw this video from the Verge, you know, and we will watch Review Tech USA's live stream on this when we after I'm done here. When I watched this video, the beginning seemed fine. Everything was fine. He was talking about stuff. He let you know that yes, this is what this is. This is how it works. You know, these are how the components work. You know, and he gave a verbal explanation about how they work, what they do. However, once the building starts, at the very beginning, nothing was necessarily wrong. I know there are some people on, YouTube who watch us, especially some tech-savvy YouTubers who ripped on them for calling certain parts not the right names. Like, for instance, he called it a bracket, the IO shield. He called it I don't know. I think a bracket. I don't remember what exactly he called it, but he called it something other than the IO shield, and people ripped on him for that. I'm not gonna rip on them for it. The reason why is because I called the fucking the IO shield in my 1050 Ti, which I had to take off, by the way, just to fit in my computer. The fucking back fin. I called it the back fin. I knew what it was for. I just called it the back fin. If anyone gets pissed off at me for calling it that, then what the fuck, man. But anyway, we're gonna get into this video. Again, I am going to be using reviewtechusa's video because the original video from The Verge is not available anymore. I'm actually going to go ahead and say I may have to skip over a few parts, and that's only because I don't want to get slapped by reviewtechusa in his tits. But, and trust me, he knows what that means. Like, it's a running gag on this channel, as well as cucumbers. Okay, I was actually watching this, and we got ads. I don't care. Okay, we're not.
Like people who've never. I'm feeling it now though. And I was gonna do this tomorrow, but man, oh man, I'm quiet. Really?
Hold on.
But I want to go all out, so I spent.
You build one for less than that, and you can build one. I'm not saying he's implying this, but the context is key.
Hold up.
For Battlefield 5. So let's build a new one. You can build a gaming desktop for around $1,000.
You do not. Okay, that is. I am gonna be a bit picky here, and though I'm not gonna rip on them entirely for this, because again, if you are new to gaming, gaming on PCs, okay, and I don't know if this guy's new or not. He definitely seems like fresh out of the fucking. He seems pretty fresh. He seems pretty new to this, and I'm wondering why he's the one building this computer. Maybe he watched like a 10-minute tutorial from Linus Tech Tips or something. And no, that I'm not discrediting Linus Tech Tips by saying that, because he probably watched like a tutorial on the internet somewhere, probably just took some quick notes down on it, didn't watch the entire video, and he said, okay, yeah, now I'll build this PC, even though I only know, like, I don't know, 25% of the information I need to actually get through this. I don't know why he's the one building this. Again, I would really like to see him come back and build a computer the right way. I think personally, maybe if he took the time and actually learned and maybe even practice off camera, even on like a dead computer. Okay, I've done this before, and I'll explain after I drink my coffee here. I had a dead computer that I killed before I got my other gaming PC, which is, behind me, my retired one. I killed the computer. Okay, I inserted some RAM modules in wrong. One of them was literally an ass hair out of the socket, and it killed my motherboard. When it killed my motherboard, I found out that the RAM was not compatible with my motherboard whatsoever, so that was an even bigger waste of time and money. So I returned it, and then I was like, you know what, if I do have to do this again, I am going to practice on this computer, and I am going to make sure I get all the parts in properly. And I've done that. I've taken dead computers, most especially my other dead computer, which is now like long gone into the fucking garbage. And I just practiced on it. I popped it open. I looked at what parts were what, where the CPU would go, the RAM. And I know this sounds really fucking stupid, because then again it's like, oh, it's like fucking Legos. You should be able to tell where everything goes. But keep in mind, when you're inserting these parts, you can't have them hanging out. You can't like have it like be an ass hair out of the socket, because it either will kill the hardware, kill the motherboard, or it just won't post properly. So you have to make sure everything's installed properly. There's little to no room for error. Some motherboards give you some room for error, because some of them do have, I'm sure, built-in safety measures that'll protect the hardware in the event of hardware failure or if something comes loose. But always double check your work when it comes to building a computer. If you have to, eyeball it for an hour, because trust me, I'm not a professional with building PCs. I'm just not. But, you know, hold on. Most of the PCs I've owned are pre-builds. But even with the pre-builds, I'm always like, I always make sure I keep them clean. I always pop them open. I always take the heat sinks off the GPU and the CPU if it's caked in there with dust. And I clean them out. Okay? So, let's continue here.
But I want to go all out, so I spent...
You could build one for life.
And okay, this is another thing I need to mention. You can build a PC. Yeah, I mean, reviewtechusa is right. Okay, Rich is right. You can build a PC for less than $1,000. Okay, my rig here, which is a pre-build, I bought from Acer. Didn't even come with a graphics card. It had a PCI Express 16 lane in it, and that's it. That was it. That's all it had, and that was fucking lucky. But had an X16 in there, and I just slotted in a graphics card, and this computer here that I'm streaming off of cost me $700, and I'm like doing Ultra on Doom 2016. Granted at 720p, because not surprisingly Doom 2016 actually does let me go to 1080p, despite the fact that this television set makes some games hard lock to 720p. It actually goes to 1080p, but at 1080p the 1050 Ti does struggle. So at 720p at Ultra, looks good, runs good. Solid 60 FPS. Not complaining. And for this system cost $700. I didn't have to pay $1,000. I didn't have to pay $2,000. I only paid $700 for this thing, and I'm getting gaming performance that exceeded my expectations. So, I'm just saying. Rich is right. Everybody else who's saying this is right. You can build a computer for even like less than $700 if you look for deals. Okay, watch Tech Yesity, watch Ozzy Talks Hardware, watch those guys. They will definitely show you how to build a computer for less than even $500. So, you know, let's continue.
Less than that, and you can build one. I'm not saying he's implying this, but the context is key. The way he said it is like, thank you very much.
Oh, hold on.
Stop. Well, of course, first you need a table.
Okay, okay. This is going to be a part where a table. This is kind of nitpicky. What kind? What kind of table? What kind of table? Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you're fucking smart enough to realize that. Oh, don't put this shit on a fucking towel. I mean, Jay's 2 cents actually demonstrated that he put almost all of his hardware on the towel, shoved every single cord from the power supply in his case, didn't bother using any cable management, and he like pretty much did everything like you weren't supposed to do to a computer. Like, most of the stuff, I'm sure were probably, like, just over-exaggerations and the hardware can survive it. But he did everything you weren't supposed to do to a computer, and the thing still booted up. This thing still ran games fine. I'm not, again, like Jay's 2 cents said, don't do it. But if it does accidentally, like, nick or hit or touch a towel, odds are it's not going to kill your hardware. You know, just hope to God it's not dry as shit in your room and you actively have static electricity running through your fingers. Okay, but you know, that's that there. But a table. I've actually done my I've worked on my computers on cardboard sometimes. That's probably not a good thing. I've worked on computers before. I've learned, however, that I would much rather get the motherboard in the case before I start inserting anything. Because then at the very least, I'm not going to risk frying my motherboard or any other component. So yeah, let's keep going.
Preferably not metal. If it's going to be metal, have an anti-static working surface layered on.
That's good. Not metal. You don't want metal.
Top of it, a thermal paste applicator, an Allen.
You should always have some kind of anti-static.
A thermal paste applicator. What is that? Is that a fucking plastic spoon? I mean, is that what a thermal paste applicator does? Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I have not used thermal paste all that much. Okay, I am very. Oh wait, no, that's a spreader. That's a fucking spreader. Okay, that's a spreader. I don't use spreaders. I don't spread. I just P-shape, slap the CPU cooler on there, though I don't actually slap it on there, but put it on there, and the weight and the pressure from the CPU cooler, as well as the mounting brackets, it will spread the thermal compound all over the face of your CPU. It's that easy. Personally, you don't need this. If you're uncomfortable with the method I use that method. It doesn't really matter. Or you can use a fucking credit card. It doesn't matter. Personally, it's much easier that way. Put it in the middle, P-shape in the middle, or rice grain in the middle. Some people say P-shape, some people say rice grain. I think it depends on the size of the CPU. Threadripper is a fucking beast of a CPU, so yeah, I think you need a slightly bigger amount of a thermal compound for that. But rice grain, and it should spread on there.
Protection. Doesn't matter what the surface of the table is made of. Especially if you live in a cold climate during the winter, when all the moisture's out of the air due to it being cold.
Personally, okay. I don't use metal. I don't put shit on metal. I don't put any of my components on metal. Like he said, it doesn't matter. It's just a precaution of mine. If anything, I'm putting it on a hardwood table. Okay, but I do agree. You do need some way of preventing static electricity from hitting your hardware and having an anti-static bracelet, which, by the way, you will see in this video. He fucks up on royally, and nobody really pointed it out when they first saw it, but you know, you will see it. Okay.
There's times I walk, man, and I could touch my of interruption,
which is to protect you and the parts. These are the parts you're going to need, but more importantly, before we get there, we need to understand what these parts are doing and how they interact with one another.
To better understand the parts that make up a desktop, let's try to
okay, that was a static electricity, anti-static wristband. Let's actually look at that real quick, because I remember. Okay, so I don't use anti-static wristbands, by the way. I don't, so that's probably a bad thing. So, anti-static bracelet. Because I don't use these things, I'm sorry, but I remember hearing that he didn't ground it. You know, we're just going to go ahead and not do this. Because I'm not going to go ahead and say something and pretend I know what I'm talking about here. I just remember hearing Rich mention that he never grounded it, and I'm wondering exactly what that is. I'm not going to go ahead and search that up and take
all
all
this
this
is
time.
kind of like, but
For rendering and processing visuals into what you
Okay.
see on screen.
Okay, this is the part of the video that actually isn't bad. It's actually okay. Okay. I'm trying to avoid that. But I still got it.
And I got us the VIP passes to help us.
What is that?
It's a traveling horror night. People totally lose it in there.
internet could be where
Okay, he's still talking. I'm sorry, Rich, but I want to watch the video.
Choosing the right parts for your build. There's sites like PCPartPicker.com.
Okay, again, nothing wrong there. We're gonna go ahead and just go straight into this.
Really delicate, you should be really careful with them. And screw in with confidence, but also really need place items
Okay.
into the case and make sure that they all fit and then start working. And now we're really going to start building by adding the motherboard in. Some notes about installing motherboards: they're really delicate, you should be really careful with them. And screw in with confidence, but also don't screw in too hard, otherwise you could crack the board. I chose Asus's Z370 motherboard for
which again he's
I mean, and then, yeah, that's right. That's actually another thing I'm gonna skip over. We're gonna go ahead and do this.
put the space.
Oh my god, Rich, you're still talking. I'm sorry, man.
You can get really fast SSDs that are really easy to install. Pay close attention to the brace that goes at the back of the computer.
Okay. I know I called the IO shield on my 1050 Ti a back fin. And I'm not going to rip on him entirely for that. Okay, he called it a brace, though it's not supporting anything. I mean, technically, it's supporting this, sorta. But I'm not gonna shit on him for that. I'm not gonna shit on them for that. There are some tech YouTubers who shat on them for it. I even think Rich shat on them for it. I'm not gonna shit on them for it. I fucking call parts of a computer I don't know, or just forget shit, just random shit. Like, so I called the back fin on my 1050 Ti the back fin, and I just called it the back fin. Again, it's the IO shield. Okay, but again, I'm not gonna shit on him for this. He's not doing anything wrong. He just called it something different, and I'm not gonna shit on him for it. So.
brace.
Okay, yeah.
You have to make sure that you really hammer it in, because there's no screw. It really just has to go outside of the case and clasp onto the frame. And this is very important, because otherwise you can't align the motherboard correctly with the holes. We're just going to start installing all 8 screws.
Again, at this point, this isn't that bad. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Rich, you're
And
talking.
this motherboard supports them for 2 main reasons. One, it has LEDs and install the RAM on the motherboard. I chose Corsair's 16GB Vengeance LED RAM for 2 main reasons. One, it has LEDs and we do like lights in our gaming desktops. Secondly, it's pretty fast RAM. It's 2666 megahertz, I believe, so it's pretty fast. And this
Okay, Rich is gonna say that's not fast, but I actually have the same speed in my computer, and it's handling games fine, and it's DDR4. I mean, if you're like a big, if you're huge into gaming, and you're like have the top of the line shit, then obviously yeah, you're gonna go much higher than 2600 something RAM, but it's the same speed that's in my computer. It's fine. Everything's running fine. But the funny thing here is that it's a $2,000 computer. he could have afforded much faster RAM. I will say that he could have afforded much faster RAM. The RAM prices, I don't know if they're still expensive now because of the mining. I think mining has essentially kind of busted right now, so I think things are much cheaper now. But even then, like RAM, especially with that fucking budget, $2,000, you should be able to get really good high performing RAM. Okay, that's much faster than 2600. All right, 2600 or 2600 666. I don't know how much he had. What was it?
Motherboard support. We do like lights in our gaming desktops. Secondly, it's pretty fast RAM. It's 2,666 megahertz.
Okay, so it's rather right. 2,666. Again, same speed that's in my system. I don't have issues with it. Again, I'm not like the top of the line gamer. I'm more like the I don't want to have diminishing returns gamer, where I will buy the budget / mid-range level stuff because it'll still let me play modern games, and I won't have to worry about taking tons of money out of my own ass just to pay for components that will probably be irrelevant next year, if you get what I mean. But yeah, let's keep going.
So it's pretty fast, and this motherboard supports that speed, which is most important. Open.
I wouldn't say it's like,
Okay, Rich, you're talking. I'm sorry, Rich. I'm sorry, Rich. I am sorry, Rich. I don't know if you'll watch this video, but I am very sorry. But I have to skip over your speech.
First, and just aligning the stick with the middle of the strip, not with the end, and just lining that up with the logo. So once you hear that solid clasp and you don't see the gold connectors on the side anymore, that's when you know the render.
No, you do. No, I didn't see this before.
Okay, Rich. We're not going to hear you talk. But, again, I'm sorry. Rich is the only person right now that I know has the original video available to watch. But here, I think okay, he is going to give some advice. Let's actually listen to it.
You do both sides at the same time. You shouldn't. They used to.
And that's how I killed my first computer. That's actually how I killed my first computer. I didn't do two sides both at the same time. I did one side there and one side there. And actually, when I did that, one of the other sides, this side, would not lock. It just wouldn't lock. So I did the other one, and I pushed down both of them, and it worked. But I was dumb, and I was thinking there was something wrong with the other side, so I did the same thing again. One side I pushed in, and the other side I pushed in, and I pushed in the other side pretty hard. And then I was like, oh yeah, it's locked in. The bracket is down. The bracket is hugging the RAM now. So I'm thinking, I didn't hear a click, but it was hugging the RAM, and then I turned my computer on, and it fucking fried the motherboard. So yeah. He's not wrong here. I killed my computer by actually doing what this guy is doing right now. I mean, at the end of this video, his computer booted, but still. And I also need to mention, and he is going to talk about this, but I'm going to say it first. He's not taking advantage of dual channel. I remember watching a video from someone else who actually reacted to this, and this person actually said that this particular motherboard will boot without the use of dual channel. But the thing I need to mention is this guy didn't seem to know a lot about the motherboard, because if he knew it was dual channel, or if he knew it did not support, it didn't require dual channel out of the box, then he should have said that. He should have said that, you know, this motherboard does not require dual channel to post, but you can still use it. He didn't mention that in the video, and that's another mistake, and I don't know if anyone's actually talked about that. Okay, I don't know if anyone's actually talked about it. But yeah, we're gonna keep going here.
Do this at IBM, and I think they later changed it.
And then, like, yeah, and Rich does have. He's actually talked about it in the past on his channel. He's actually He does have experience with this shit, so I'm not gonna really question it because again, by not following what he said, he does. I killed my other computer, so that's how my other computer died, and it was out by an ass hair too.
Because they had like a bunch of their. Don't know that.
Okay.
Swap it out, and it's only held down by one screw and the latch, so it's really...
Okay, I can't really comment on this because I've never had a computer that has that. I mean, I've never used anything with NVMe. NVMe. My current gaming PC doesn't have it. My old gaming PC doesn't have it. The other PC that I fried the fuck out of never had it. So I don't think he's putting it in wrong. I could be wrong. Maybe it is, but I don't know. I've never used one of these before. I've never installed one of them before. So
really
yeah.
simple
Don't
and
know.
really straightforward. Speed for gaming is important when it comes to a hard drive. You want files to write quickly, and you
It's an SSD.
want games to load quickly.
But sometimes if you only have.
Okay, dude.
GTX 1080, which is over...
I mean, there's sometimes like I've misread.
Okay.
There's a lot of.
Okay.
You're just going to find the gold connectors, and you're going to line this bracket with the back end bracket of your PC case. Now, which lane you choose depends entirely on what other parts you're going to put in the system. I'm just going to pick the top one because the...
Okay. Yeah, no. Okay, I'm kind of triggered here. And I know there was a shit ton of other people that got triggered by this, and I saw his stream before this, and I got triggered then, and I'm still being triggered now, and it does matter what lane you put it in, because if you put it in an X16 lane, PCI Express 16 lane, it will utilize your graphics card it'll utilize 100% of your graphics card. If you put it in an X8 lane, it won't utilize it properly. You won't get the desired performance from the graphics card. So not only will your graphics card be hindered by putting it in an X8 lane, but also you won't... frame rates and maybe even the graphics of the game won't look all that great. Okay, you'll be hindering your graphics card, and you'll be sitting there wondering why it's not running this game at 60 when it should be. Okay, this guy, I can tell you 100% didn't do his homework, didn't do any research, and he went ahead and, and again, I'm not going to rip on him totally for like calling parts of the computer the wrong name. Personally, I think that I'm not going to shit on him for it. I do believe that he should call it the right name, because then this is a tutorial, this is a guide, and when you do a guide, you want to make sure you call things by the right name, because a lot of these people, especially if they're novices, they're going to be watching this, and they're going to be wondering, like, it's called an IO shield in the manual, but he's calling it a bracket or a brace in the video. And now I kind of see why people are kind of up in arms about that. Like, I'm still not going to totally shit on him for it, because then I've called shit the wrong thing before, but now I kind of understand it. Like, after like kind of talking myself into it and actually watching this part, now I understand. Like, yeah, it is a good idea, because if you're doing a tutorial or a guide video, you want to make sure you name everything. You want to make sure everything is named. You want to make sure that you're using the proper names, proper verbiage, whatever. So when people actually watch this video, and let's say they're using a manual or like more than one guide, okay, on the internet, or maybe a manual on what or a manual on the case and the motherboard, you want to make sure that they have that you're using the right words. Because if you don't use the right words, what's going to end up happening is you're going to find yourself kind of lost trying to find, where's the fucking brace? And it's like, it's called the fucking IO shield. So Yeah. Oh boy. Okay. But, and I still stand by, like, put your graphics cards in the X16 slot. Look in the manual. If you're a noob, look in the manual. Find out which one's the X16 slot. I think rule of thumb is it's always closest to the CPU, but still check your manual. Okay, I'm not a pro at PC building, so there's still a lot I don't know, but still check your manuals. Look where it is, or go to a trusted tech website, or better yet, ask the manufacturer themselves, because I'm sure that a lot of these manufacturers do have tech support. Ask them, and they'll be able to tell you. Okay. Okay. Yeah, he's gonna.
Sir, let me just. How did this?
Okay.
The car.
Okay.
Bolted down by the back-end bracket. And your GPU's installed.
Okay, that's not.
Supply, because I need enough headroom for rate by time. I chose Corsair's 850.
This is the part that is like really just not good. This is the part, and I've been skipping over parts, not just to keep Rich out of it. I mean, this is his fucking video, but my primary focus is this, not Rich. Okay, and again, I'm sorry, Rich. I'm sorry for like kicking you out of your own fucking video, man. But you're one of the few people that actually have this video, and I'm assuming that, and because you do have some information, I will call back to you in this video when that happens. I probably should change the title of this stream featuring Review Tech USA, even though it technically really isn't, because it's just him in the video that you guys are barely hearing, but still.
50-watt power supply, because I need enough headroom for ray tracing GPUs when they come out, and I don't want to have to upgrade it again.
That's the thing I'm kind of wondering. Okay, so do you need an 800 watt for ray tracing GPUs? I mean, personally, I'm not going to go and buy a ray tracing GPU once they came out. I think they're out already, but at least the flagships are. Or maybe it's just review units. I don't know. But I'm not going to buy them. I'm just not going to buy them. However, I don't know what the power requirement on those things are. I'm assuming it's going to be something relatively large.
So all you have to do is take the brick with these little insulating pads.
Okay. He called them insulating. From what I've heard, and I've never owned a computer that had those pads, but from what I've heard and from what Rich is going to say, I'm actually going to let Rich explain this part. I actually should. Okay, this is what I'll probably do from now on. Like, if it's a part that I do not understand, because trust me, I'm still a novice. I don't know a shit ton about building a PC, because most everything I've had is a pre-build. But if there's something I don't get, I'm going to let Rich tell you it. But there's still a fair amount I do understand about a computer, and even building it. But this, I'm going to let Rich talk to you about that.
So the power supply doesn't short circuit and come into contact with the rest of the system.
Those insulated. The power supply, you could touch the outer casing of the power supply is not live. It's not going to electrocute you. It's not going to short against the case. All those, whatever case he has there, I'm not sure whatever brand he has, those are sound dampeners. So when the fan is spinning in the power supply, it doesn't make vibrations happen in the case. That's not to keep it insulated so it doesn't short out, you idiot.
So just take it in, slide it in nice and easy until...
Where is he putting the fan? Where is the fan for the pool? Where is he?
I always love Rich and his fucking expressions. You can't. You have to laugh at him. Like it's fucking hilarious, man. But yeah, no, he is right. Like, well, actually, I'm gonna go back. Where the fuck is the fan? Like, where is it?
Idiot.
Oh,
So just take it in, slide.
where's the fucking fan? Okay, so first things first. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can actually. Hold on. I'm actually gonna go ahead and what? Okay, no, PC. In Tay. Fucking in used in the Verge build. How the build okay, this is a cityscape. Okay, I don't know. I'm not well versed in PC cases. I'm sorry. I think maybe that is an Asus one though. I don't know. I remember hearing somewhere it was Asus. But I could be wrong. But yeah, where the fuck is he putting the fan? Actually, better yet, we're actually gonna look up a picture of that very same power supply.
Holy shit. Rather do overkill than
What is this power supply?
too much. Like, I'd rather.
Racing GPUs when they come out, and I.
Or I'd rather have
Okay. Okay.
those insulated he has there. I'm not sure.
Okay.
frame.
Oh no, I got it. Fuck! Get your hand out of the way. Okay, I think that's a Corsair. I want. Okay,
So just take it in, slide.
Okay, Corsair HX 850. Let's go. Let's look that up. Corsair HX 850. HX 850. Okay, what we're gonna do? There it is. What the fuck? He put it up against the damn case. Okay, now I see why everyone was like shitting on him. Like, I was thinking, oh well, like I thought it was like a traditional fucking okay, this is actually the exact model. I thought it was like a traditional power supply where the fan was in the like back here. I'm wondering if they got like okay, so there is a fan or a vent. Well, no, that's a completely different model though. I'm wondering if I can get okay. Okay. I'm wondering. I know I'm being overly okay, so it does have a vent. It does have a vent. Okay, it does have a vent. But even then, he's putting the fucking fan against the PC case. There's no air there's no fucking air going into that goddamn power supply. There's nothing going in it. It's gonna burn the fuck up, man. Oh. It's so fucking stupid.
Slide it in nice and easy until.
Where is he putting the fan? Where is the fan gonna cool? Where is it going?
You have a snug fit, and then shift it to the back and make sure it's right up against the frame.
Where? Yes. Make sure your fan is right against the frame so it can't circulate air. Oh my. I can't believe this is a well-produced Verge video. How did they look at this and go, print it, That just shows you what state professional journalism is in right now. That someone saw this. This isn't a live stream. Like, look, people scroll. I've seen like pro builders make mistakes during live streams. You're human, and sometimes even if you have insane amounts of experience,
there's something with this radiator. Now, I've never used the radiator, but I'm gonna actually let I think it was the post stream. The post stream. He had a post stream. I don't know if he still has it up now. Excuse me. But there was a post stream. And Rich actually mentions that there was no fans on the radiator. There's no fans. Actually, no, it wasn't a post stream. I think he does mention it in the post stream, but I actually remember hearing it from his video about The Verge, and I think it was called "Criticism Isn't Harassment." You guys can look that up. But he mentions that there was no fans on the radiator. I don't know if you need fans on the radiator necessarily. I'm not a professional PC builder, but every single person I've seen who has built a PC with radiators in them, with water cooling, has had a fan on them. And I'm assuming because they have a fan on them, it's to prevent the heat from building up in the case. Okay, it's not like a normal radiator where it's like outside or not on the device. Okay, like a perfect example is like Linus Tech Tips. He actually bought a legit ass home radiator and connected it through like some MacGyver shit to his PC, and like he used that to cool his computer, and like it was fucked up. It had like rust and shit inside of it, and it wasn't working properly. But still, it's not like it's outside of the machine like that. No, this radiator, it's inside the machine. And because the radiator is inside of the PC case, if there's no fan there, that radiator is going to radiate the fuck out of the internals of the shit. It's going to get hot. Alright? It's going to throttle your hardware. And maybe even damage something. Cause shit to morph. Okay? So Rich does mention in either the post stream or I do remember it being there's like a few seconds where he does mention that in the Criticism Isn't Harassment video. He mentions that there was no fans on the radiator. And again, like, yeah, that is right. Like he didn't put any fans on it. How the fuck is this thing even working? This machine will die within like 6 months. Okay? Like, it is not cleared to function properly with this current setup. Like, this radiator has no fans on it. It's gonna kill the hardware. And the fact that the power supply, which I am literally fucking like, I am like pissed that he put it that way. Okay, hold on. Okay. I'm legit pissed that he put it that way. Like, why? Why, dude? Why? Like, why is this? Oh my god. Come on, man. You can do better than this. Do your fucking research. It's common fucking sense, man. A fan, it's sucking in air. If it's not getting enough air, like, okay, yeah, maybe if it has like an 2 inches, like an inch of space, it may get some air. But come the fuck on, man. That's not optimal. Come the fuck on, dude. You have it shoved up to the side in that damn case. It's gonna kill that power supply. That power supply is done for. I'm sorry. It just is.
some of the parts.
And so is the fucking hardware, because he puts in a fucking radiator that's a water cooled radiator, and there's no fucking fans on it. Okay, not only is that power supply fucking done, all the hardware in this fucking machine is done, because it will cause shit to morph. The heat will cause thermal throttling, and the system will just be underperforming as fuck. And it'll potentially reduce the lifespan of all the hardware in your system. This whole build, Okay, I love how The Verge even says that, oh yeah, it's some minor factual inaccuracies. Dude, they are not minor factual inaccuracies. If this video were to stay up, you would have fucking people following this guide, and they would not know how to actually... They would be fucking up their own computer following this fucking guide. Okay, and I'm like... I understand now why so many people are pissed off about this guide, is because it's so ass backwards. Again, I'm gonna be harsh on the guy, and it needs to be said, but there are some things that I think that are just purely ridiculous, but I also understand why some things need to be said. But this, man, like, this is done, and this radiator without the fans, it's gonna kill the system. This whole system's fucked. Okay, it's done.
Don't work together well. Like, even if you bought a high-end case, some of the holes where things are supposed to be screwed in don't line up perfectly, and shit happens. But this is a pre-recorded video that people...
And yeah, that's actually kind of interesting. Like, no one in post, like, after the video was filmed, no one actually said anything or noticed anything at all. Like, no one said anything. They couldn't even pull a guy from the IT department to look at this shit. Seriously?
Probably thoroughly watched.
Okay.
And then it fits in perfectly, and we're going to start screwing it in. So there's nothing special about this screwing in process.
Where are the fans? Where are the fans? Like, I don't know. Maybe he put them on, like, after the fact. Maybe he forgot to put it in the video. Well, I'm actually going to go ahead. We'll see at the end of the video and see what happens there. But where are the fucking fans? A radiator is not going to work properly if there's no fucking fans.
Yes, they're just really long screws because they go through the entire frame of the cooler, and they take forever.
This is what it is. This is not alright. He's putting it. We'll admit something before I see this part. I've seen it, or I go over it again because I have watched this before. I have done.
That fucking fan is jammed up against that wall. And it's gonna be. Oh wow. This entire system is gonna overheat.
Builds for my cable management. Nice and cool and stay.
Okay. I'm not gonna shit on cable management because I barely do it. I should start doing it more. I'm gonna be honest with you. I hardly do it. Mostly because I haven't had any reason to actually worry about it, because when most of the cases I've had don't have proper cable management features in it, so I really can't do much about it. But like, to be honest with you, I haven't had any issue. And considering the fact that this pre-build I bought from Acer already had the cords zip tied and pre-managed for me, I didn't even worry about it. But still, I'm not gonna rip on cable management. I'm not a huge cable management guy, and I probably should be, but so far I haven't had a single system that I've owned, and all of them were pre-builds, by the way, that has actually had proper cable management, and they've failed. Like, none of these systems I own, minus the Acer, which was pre-managed, have actually failed because of no cable management. So, I'm just saying.
Cable, I didn't give a shit for my own personal build.
Connecting the power supply to the motherboard with the 24-pin cable. We're just matching that cable from the motherboard.
They were too long. I didn't notice the screws. He just said they were long screws. I didn't notice them. I saw he was screwing in the...
Attaching the 24-pin header to the power supply so that we can have one of the connections complete. The next few additions will be for the GPU, for any specific ports that the case has, for any lighting that the case has, the CPU cooler, the
putting the chip,
CPU holder, or rather slot, on the motherboard. And we're going to use the CPU applicator. This is a special little part that not everyone may get, but this motherboard that we got from ASUS.
What was he doing to the back end of the CPU? What?
Yeah, what was he doing?
What was he doing?
Definitely does have. It's called a CPU installation tool. It makes it really useful if you want to install a Core i7 hexacore CPU. Yeah, we've got one.
That was cringe. That was so fucking cringe. I'm sorry. Oh.
And it's an 8th generation chip, and it's ready to go, and it supports overclocking. So what having this little installer does for you is it's basically a brace that you can
Dude, all you gotta do is just match up the golden fucking triangle on the CPU with the socket. What's with all the overthinking here? You've like half-assed everything else, and you're making it like you're doing brain surgery. Just match up the 2 fucking corners and put the CPU in.
apply right to the
Okay. that yeah.
CPU and light it up with the triangles that you'll see on the bottom left corners. And this will make it easier for us to
His
apply to the
reaction.
motherboard and then apply thermal paste and then apply a CPU cooler on top.
I don't.
And we're just going to carefully lean it down into the system and make sure that everything lines up. And
Well,
we're gonna-
no. Did anyone see that? His finger nicked it. Like I'm sorry, but that triggers me so hard.
clasp down on it and we'll be good to go. So we're about to apply thermal paste to the CPU.
This
Every
is
CPU
good.
Oh,
cooler
this is the fucking bad part. Oh god, it is the worst part of this video. It is the part that I actually got pissed off at the most. Like it, the PSU pissed me off. Okay, like PSU pissed me off, but this shit. When I watched this video, because I actually understood what was going on. Like after rewatching the PSU part, now I truly have a full grasp on why that's wrong. Okay, I even looked up the fucking model, and like yeah, he has the fucking fan shoved up against the fucking wall of the CPU, the wall of the PC case. But here, you'll see some quality fucking cringe and humor in this part, because this part is so fucked up. Let's watch.
actually comes with a bit of thermal paste.
Get ready.
Yeah.
There's a multi-dimensional fail here. Multi-dimensional fail is coming. There's
Paste already neatly applied in a circle around it, but it's usually not enough. It's good.
It's fine unless you're doing something like super heavy duty overclocking.
Yeah, I'm with Rich, but let's actually skip ahead a bit. Okay, he's still talking. He's still talking. I'm sorry. Oh, what the fuck? Wait. Oh, hold on. Okay,
Essentially PC building practice.
Watch
to have
this.
a little
Watch
bit
this.
extra
Watch
and
this.
layer it on top
What?
of the CPU.
why? What? You don't put that much. And to make the situation worse, he's keeping the fucking thermal compound pad on the CPU cooler. So he's not removing that, and he's putting all this shit on there when really you should only have like that much on there. That much. Just that much. Like, you don't need a shit ton of stuff. You just need that much. You don't need all that. You don't need all that. So this video is so shit. But he keeps the thermal compound pad and he puts a glob of this shit on there. Pretty much like the entire fucking vial at this point. And he puts a CPU cooler on with the pad and with this shit on there. That's going to create a gap. And seeing how crusty this shit can get. Like, trust me, this stuff can get crusty over time. Okay, if this doesn't create the gap already, when it gets crusty and when it gets hard, because of all that heat coming off that CPU, it's going to create a gap. And it's going to cause your system to thermal throttle. I guarantee that 100%. And it could potentially damage your CPU, reduce its lifespan, and cause potentially irreversible damage to the CPU if it's overheating. Okay, I'm sure the CPU has a system in place where it will automatically shut down and the entire computer will shut down if it overheats, but come on, man. Come the fuck on. Dude, this is not good. This is not fucking good. You should not be doing this shit. Okay? What? Who picked this guy out to do this shit? I mean, seriously, who picked this guy out? Really, who? Can someone tell me? Of course no one will tell me because their fucking response to this too. Their response to the people who are criticizing them. Like, obviously the racist shit, which I know happened, people have been saying that there are racist comments going towards the host of the video, which why? Like, why do people do that? Like, why the fuck do you need to be fucking racist as fuck just because of this? Come the fuck on. But, like, them claiming that people are toxic for criticizing the video, I'm sorry. That is fucking stupid. People have a right to fucking criticize your ass. And especially after this video, people are gonna criticize you. I'm sorry. It's gonna happen.
There's two. Just watch. Hold on. It gets worse.
The final portion is to add the CPU cooler to the top end of the processor. So you're gonna see that.
Oh my god, that's even worse. I actually hold on. He put a fucking glob of that shit on there.
Just watch. Hold on. It gets worse.
The final portion is to add the CPU cooler to the top end of the processor. So you're.
Do you see that? All of that is excess. That is too much. It will drip out of that CPU. It will fall out on the sides. That is too much. That is way too goddamn much, man. And then to top it off, you have too much, which will be probably because of the excess. It'll start draining out to the sides, but it'll also potentially create a gap because not only do you have CPU thermal compound on the CPU, but you also have thermal compound pad on the fucking CPU cooler. Why? This should be a video called What Not to Do when building a PC. And that's what it should be titled. Not like, okay, this is Rich's title, but this is a guide that The Verge put out. Okay. And again, I understand if you're not experienced, because trust me, when I first started, like, I wasn't experienced. It took me a while. It took me to kill a computer to actually start learning shit. But the thing is, though, if you're going to do a guide like this, you want to make sure you have someone who is experienced do it. Not have someone who only watched like a 10-minute video and only like took in like 5 minutes of it and then fucking said, okay, I'm ready to build this computer, and fucking not do it right. And not call any of the parts their proper names. And fucking put CPU thermal compound on there in fucking excess. And then put the fucking PSU's fan against the wall of the goddamn case. Oh, wow. This entire video is a mess. And I understand the criticism. And with The Verge saying, oh, like, you guys are fucking being, you know, toxic for like criticizing us. Like, no, like this is like warranted. This is 100% warranted, dude. This is 110% warranted. This video is terrible. It is not a good guide to build a PC. Again, I'm not a professional PC builder. I don't know how to build a computer from the ground up like this. I typically buy pre-builds. Okay, if I took the time, I'm sure I could learn. But even then, this guy, they picked him to do this video, and he didn't do anything right. The only thing he did right was the GPU, which is actually the easiest part of a build. It is the easiest fucking part of the build. I'm sure even someone who is a novice could literally look at like a fragment, look at the fucking system, and actually at least get an idea where that fucking goes. Okay. But here I'm sitting there like, come on. And this is a pre-record video too. It's not like it's live, like a PC build video from like Linus Tech Tips, you know. And Linus does a lot of like live PC builds. This isn't even live. This is a pre-recorded, edited video that The Verge put up, and no one bothered to say, "Hold the phone. This shit ain't right." No one bothered to say that. No one tried to say it. Nobody did anything. This is where we're going. This is the God. Let's keep going.
You're gonna see that there are 4 brackets, or rather like
What? Hold on. Move your
in
hand.
here.
Whatever. What did he do there?
I know. Let's look at his reaction. I love his reactions.
What? He looks like I gave a 4-year-old a crayon and told him to paint something. What? You either put a little P in the center of the CPU.
Okay, I hear rice grain. I say P. I hear P and I hear rice grain. I don't know, but P rice grain. I'm going off rice grain because that's what Jay's 2 cents says in his videos. That's what I'm gonna do.
Or I've seen some people, like there's two methods I've seen, and both work fine. It depends on whatever. Potato. People I'm sure will fight in the comment section because people are bringing contact.
and they're going to keep the cooler raised off the processor, but it's also going to be close enough to actually physically come in contact with it.
And he's putting
Yeah, I already mentioned this.
contact. You're not going to. This guy know anything about tech because he's just failing, and everyone was like, "Yeah, your internals are not done. They're in there. They may be done in a different way by frying themselves to death, but they're not done."
Front
Yeah.
glass, and of course
Pretty
the back
much.
panel where all this fun stuff.
Presented by Capital One. Gotta love it, man. As long as you're a big corporate company, they don't care how fucking stupid you are. They'll slather you with those dollar signs.
Is happening. So we fully built the PC.
Oh, dude. Okay. I'm not. I'm not gonna like be totally fucking asinine with this part, but this is a PC case that's designed for aesthetics. It's designed for aesthetics. It's not designed. It's not like my gaming PC, because my Acer Aspire T, I think that's what it's called. My computer, it's enclosed everywhere. You can't see the inside. This is an aesthetic case. This case is meant for you to look inside of it and awe the beauty of your system. There's nothing beautiful about that. Okay, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. There's like cables everywhere. There's a cable on the goddamn GPU's PCB. You got cables down here. You got a cable here, which, okay, maybe that's gonna happen. But this and then this. You pick a case that's aesthetic. It's an aesthetic case. It's meant to be kind of like a centerpiece in your room. It's meant to look nice, and you did not bother cable managing any of it. You can't even see the you can hardly see the RGB on the fucking RAM sticks here. Come the fuck on, man. Also, did he? No, he didn't. He didn't put the fucking fans on the radiator. He didn't put them there. He didn't. He fucking didn't.
Everything's put together. And
No, it's not. No, it's fucking not. Your power supply is pushed up against the wall of your goddamn of your fucking case. Your radiator has no fans. I'm assuming there's still no fans there. This entire system is gonna cook itself to death. And to make matters worse, you have cables inside of an aesthetic case, a case meant for aesthetics, and they're not cable managed. Okay.
To the post screen. So what's next? Well, you need a
Yeah, see, there's no fucking fans there. There's no goddamn fans there. There's nothing there. This system is gonna burn itself to death. It's gonna fry itself to death. Okay?
USB flash drive with your Windows installation media on it, and of course a license key. So I plugged that up.
I'm surprised it even booted. Like, I'm actually kind of surprised it booted. Like, he didn't put it on. He didn't do anything inherently wrong with, you know, handling the parts. I mean, well, he kind of did. But he didn't, like, put, like, rugs or shit all over it. But still, like, he put too much thermal compound. And he left the thermal compound pad on the brick. This computer is going to die within a few months. I can guarantee that. And is this the actual computer back here? I mean, is it? Is this the actual computer? Why is it all the way back there? Why isn't it over here? Is this another computer and this thing just is on, but it's not posting and they're using another computer? I mean, that'd be kind of fucked up, but yeah.
Installed Windows in a couple of minutes, installed a bunch of drivers, and now we have a fully functioning gaming.
Well, he has a.
No, you don't. This computer is gonna die within a few months. I'm sorry, it just will. It's functioning now, but check back in a few months after heavy usage. This thing is going to start failing. It's gonna start fucking failing. I'm sorry, it will. This thing is gonna break down because it's gonna heat the fuck up. The system is gonna start thermal throttling. Parts will probably start to morph, and you'll be fucked. No cable management, and that cable management in there, adding to the fact that this system doesn't have any fans on the radiator and the fucking power supply is like shoved up against the fucking wall with the fan on it, like it. Those cords will create even more heat because then there's like fucking more insulation. It's gonna keep the heat in there. Shit, this system is doomed. It is.
Closed loop cooler on there, and the two fans that he screwed in the top, that's what cools the CPU. And the only other thing in there that you have the GPU. I mean, you could add extra fans if you want to have more air circulation.
And the thing is, though, okay, so this may potentially end up failing eventually because then again it'll get dry, it'll get crusty, or maybe not even that, and a gap will form. And then, excuse me, that will even thermal throttle. So yeah. Wait a minute. Is that a water cooler? Is this a water cooler? Okay, I'm not a huge. I do not use water cooling. I have not used water cooling in my life, but he didn't even show himself putting in the water for the goddamn thing. Maybe he did and I skipped over it, but to be honest with you, that's something that you want to include in the fucking video.
In the case, but if you have a closed-loop cooler like that, you don't really need anything else. I mean, unless you're doing some extreme overclocking. No, he still has the two slots, the two RAM and the two slots together, so it's not into the channel.
Settings, native resolution, which is 1080p HD. And it's running pretty smoothly. Like, I'm averaging 70 and 80 FPS, and this is normally like a very intensive game to run. And it's still doing a pretty good job. So right now I'm playing League of Legends. It's one of
okay. League of Legends. Out of all the games you choose, okay. I don't know if that was that Flight Simulator. If that was Flight Simulator, then okay, fine. Let's actually look at.
settings.
You don't really need anything.
We're gonna actually look at these games. I'm gonna pull it up on Steam and we're gonna look at them and
Let's-
see the system requirements for them. Because he's using a $2,000 or near or at or slightly above $2,000 gaming PC and benchmarking these games. I know for a fact League of Legends should not even be in this benchmark. You should be like using something like Doom 2016 or fucking Wolfenstein 2, or if you want to have a game on there, at the very least try Overwatch maxed out at 4K. You know, not League of Legends. Okay. Let's see what these games are.
Doing some extreme overclocking where you're trying to get as much hot air out of the case as possible, but that's not that big of a deal.
PC ready to run some games. Right now I've got Arma 3 running.
Okay, no, that's Arma 3. So yeah, Arma 3 is kind of demanding, but I'm gonna look it up anyway. And we're gonna pay specific attention to the recommended. We're not even gonna look at minimum. Come on. Arma 3. Because the minimum is only a reflection of just kind of like bare minimum, just what can get the game running. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna look at here. Okay, he's using an 8th gen i7. Okay. A GTX 660, 32 gigs of RAM, blah blah blah. It then requires 6 gigabytes of RAM. Okay, I'm not gonna shit totally on the use of Arma 3. Arma 3, okay. Okay, if it's maxed out, then that's fine.
Maximum.
I'm trying to see.
Okay, so it is maxed. But let's look at League. What? Oh. League of Legends. Or is this not a thing? Oh, wait, League of Legends isn't even on Steam, is it? Okay. All. Okay, I typed that in wrong. Okay. Where's the official website? Okay. Okay, Riot Games. Okay, system requirements. We're going to look specifically at the recommended. A 3 gigahertz processor. 2 gigabytes of RAM. 4 gigabytes of RAM for Windows Vista and higher. 12 gigs available hard drive space, and the GeForce 8800. And 8800. Okay, that's old. And Windows XP Service Pack 3. So you could probably run this on the fucking potato. And from what I can understand, it's a single core processor. It's not even a dual core, it's a single core processor that you need to run League of Legends. He's playing a game that requires potato level hardware for recommended to run at high settings. At 60, I'm assuming. Maybe not 60, but even then, like, this is a $2,000 gaming PC. He's okay. Arma 3, I'm not gonna shit on him for including Arma 3. Arma 3 can be pretty demanding, okay, but League of Legends. Why League of Legends? Why not Doom 2016? Why not Crysis 3? Why not Wolfenstein 2? Why not Rocket League or fucking what do you call it? Overwatch, Why not? Hell, there are even some games that have built-in benchmarks you can use. Why not GTA 5? Why not that? Hell, even that game has a built-in benchmark utility. Why not that game? And GTA 5 is another stressor for systems. It's a stressor for systems. Doom 2016, GTA 5 are stressors for a system, and if your system can handle those games, then I think that's a good sign that your system is well built and has good hardware. But he doesn't use either of those games. He doesn't use Doom 2016. He doesn't use Crysis 3. He doesn't use GTA 5. All of which are games that will definitely give your computer a workout. He uses none of those.
No, he still has the 2 slots of two RAM and the 2 slots together.
Settings, native resolution, which is 1080p HD, and it's running pretty smoothly.
Okay, we saw this already.
I'm averaging. You would see me.
It's League of Legends. I already explained this.
I'm like, dude, fairly high-end gaming PC. Why are you showing? I don't even know what was that Flight Simulator. I don't even know what the fuck that was. And you're showing League of Legends.
It was Arma 3, and I'm going to say, yeah, Arma 3 is an okay selection. Arma 3, because I think Arma 3 is still pretty freaking stressful for a system, but I don't think it was as stressful as GTA 5 or Doom 2016. I just don't think it was. Hell, he could have even had Overwatch on there. Overwatch is pretty fucking CPU intensive. He could have had that. But he chose Arma 3, which, again, not a bad choice, and then League, which I'm wondering why League was chosen for a $2,000 gaming PC with a GTX 1080. I'm assuming 16 gigabytes of RAM, or maybe 8, I don't know, and a 8th gen i7. Why? Why?
Countless other games I could think of you could have shown besides that one, man.
Desktop has been a great experience. I'm able to max out a lot of my favorite titles, and I'll be able to play a lot of upcoming titles like Battlefield 5 and Cyberpunk 2077 without worrying too much about the parts I have. When ray tracing GPUs come out, for example, I'll be able to upgrade without having to buy a completely new system. And if I have a problem down the line, I can always just swap out a part and have it serviced rather.
Don't swap anything.
You're not... Okay. If I have a problem, dude, you're gonna have a lot of problems with this system. You're gonna have a lot of fucking problems with this system, man. You are going to have a shit ton. Specifically in the thermals department. Because this system is gonna burn itself to death. The hardware is going to start thermal throttling. And that performance, even in League, is going to drop. Because it's going to thermal throttle. I'm sorry. It just will.
Get out there. I do not want you touching the thing again. You may light yourself on fire. This had to be like his second build ever. Like he's probably a journalist at The Verge. I don't know the guy. I didn't look into anything about him. I don't really care. And he probably built like one computer before this. And they were like, oh, hey, what the hell is his name? I heard you could build a computer. You're like, yeah, I built one before. I almost, cut my ass cheek off in the process. All right, build one for a video because we need one. Okay.
I've been losing my whole computer. And of course now we also have a computer to test and benchmark games here at The Verge.
Okay.
Guarantee you something goes wrong with that computer.
It will. There will be something that goes wrong with that computer. But yeah. Okay. That is my take on that whole entire video, that entire situation there. Yeah. Oh. Whew. Oh God. Okay. You gotta wonder why. Like why. Like, did they just find this guy somewhere in like the Verge office and just like say, hey, build this? I still believe he didn't know how to build it. And he probably watched like a 10-minute video from like Linus or Jay's 2 cents. Didn't watch the entire thing. Just watched like cliff notes of it. And then just said, okay, I'm ready. And he didn't bother watching everything. Why? Why? Please tell me why. Oh, but you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna actually play a game. Yeah, we're playing Doom. Yeah, a game that should have been using that benchmark. Oh, God. I'm actually gonna use keyboard and mouse. Oh, God. Oh. I don't know why, but Doom always seems to start up a bit rough. And I think it's probably because the game has to make a connection to the servers, and it's trying to do it in the background while it's loading everything up. Wow, that was fast. Okay. We're actually going to go ahead and do that one. But yeah, that entire goddamn video from The Verge, like, I'm glad they took it down. At first, they started removing the like to dislike ratio in the comments, which kind of gave people the impression, which I'm sure it was their intention to keep it up. But honestly, you had to have taken that video down, Verge, because it would have destroyed people's computers if they followed it.
Set up a portal device at the tomb. Use the light bulb.
Oh, shit. Okay, oh, there it is. Also, if the quality of the stream is bad, especially when I'm playing a game, I think I have my resolution down a bit lower than usual. It may not be all that noticeable when I'm like on desktop or anything, but in game or streaming a game, it might be noticeable. Because I saw it in my Vermintide 2 stream when I talked about. I don't know what I was talking about now. I actually kind of forget, but still. Chainsaw. God damn it. Fuck. I'm a bitch. There's some fucking other one. Oh, fuck. Oh. I was gonna get so pissed off if I dropped down there. Oh, hey, asshole. Forgot you were up here. Oh, fuck. Okay, yeah. Shit. Shit. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Shit. God damn it. Okay, yeah. God. Fuck you. Switch back to that. Anyone here? I swear I keep hearing like the sound, you know, I keep hearing fireballs being thrown. Like I'm assuming that's like imps off in the distance or something. Back. Okay. Oh. Ugh. Oh boy. Hold on, I gotta take these headphones off for a second. Ooh, I'm sorry. I've been fucking burping the entire goddamn stream. Gonna take a little bit of a break, stretch my legs. I'll come back and I'll continue playing this. I thought about playing Overwatch, but I don't think I will, because then I'll play a game of that and I'll get bored and then quit. And I don't want to have to do that every single time I try to stream Overwatch. Maybe when there's a special event going on or something, I'll stream it, but I'm not gonna stream it now. Not gonna stream it now. I just can't sit through a game of Overwatch anymore. I can't play it. I just can't. But yeah, taking these things off. Oh. Oh my god. Oh. Oh. Whew. Oh. 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 Oh god. Okay. Just came back and tell you I am still here. Oh boy. My streams never span over like 2 hours. I did do a 4-hour stream at one point. And I think that was like when Titanfall 2 came out. Or around the time when Titanfall 2 still was relatively popular. And what I really should do is stream Titanfall 2. Log back into Origin and do that. I haven't actually been on Origin for a while, and it's not because of what's been going on with EA. It's just I haven't felt like playing any games on Origin lately. And most of the games on there, the only games I ever play are Dead Space and Titanfall 2, and I just haven't felt like playing those games. But now I kind of do. But what I'm going to do is save that for a later date. Actually, hold on. Let's actually what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna actually go ahead and cut the stream. I know I said I will continue, but I'm actually starting to feel tired now. And looking at a television screen for a long period of time just isn't good for you anyway. So I am gonna cut the stream. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my take on that Verge video. I will be uploading this stream to YouTube. Odds are if you're watching this on YouTube, you already know that, but if you want to watch this on YouTube, just look up Google Fish 80. Obviously, Google being spelt as you would type it into the search engine bar, and then Fish 80, and it's all one word. Actually, there it is right there. So, Google Fish 80. You guys can go ahead and look me up on YouTube. You can watch this